Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's Fitness Friday, I'm bringing you 3 healthy and easy recipe ideas for weight loss. All 3 of these recipes are super delicious and super easy to make, and they would be perfect to meal prep or take on the go with you if you do go to school or are a busy mom on the go or great for work. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. These recipes are going to be fit into my macro and calorie intake that I'm currently on for my weight loss journey. So I hope I give you some good ideas. So for breakfast, I'm going to be making these blueberry oatmeal muffins. And it's pretty much like making oatmeal, but instead of putting it on the stovetop or in the microwave, we're actually going to be baking this. So first I add my rolled oats, half a cup of blueberries, a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, and then I move on to add some pecans, and that's a 1/2 cup of pecans. You can also use any other kind of nut that you like. Pecans are my favorite, but it would be really delicious with some almonds as well. And then I add in my vanilla extract for a little bit more flavor, and some cinnamon, and then some baking powder. This is a 1/2 tablespoon. The full recipe will be in the description box down below, but this is pretty much the gist. Then I add my unsweetened almond milk, kind of eyeball it to see how much that you will need, but this specific recipe I used about 2 cups, maybe a little bit under that. And then I just mixed it up with my spatula, and make sure to mix it really well because it'll just disperse all of those flavors and ingredients together, and it really makes it super delicious. And if you did want to, you could actually mix this and leave it in the fridge for overnight oats, and then bake it in the morning, and that would just have like all the flavors really seep into the oats, and I feel like that would be really delicious too, but that's if you had a little bit more time on your hands. So next thing I'm going to do is just portioning this out into my muffin tins. I did use, I believe, either a 1/2 cup or a 1/4 cup to portion this out into my tins. And then again, we're just going to bake those. This is a super easy recipe to prep it. It took me maybe like 5 minutes. You just pretty much dump in anything in your fridge that you think you'd like in your oatmeal. You can also add like peanut butter or some maple syrup to make it a little bit more sweet if you wanted to. But this is like perfect. It's like a little bit of sweet and nutty flavor from the pecans are just super delicious. And I just pretty much portion that out, and I eat about 2 of these in the morning, and then I do pair it with like a cup of egg whites, and that'll get me my carb intake for the morning and also my protein intake. It's also really good for anybody on the go. You could just grab a couple of these and head off to school or work or wherever you need to be in a rush, and yeah, super delicious. For a final touch before I do bake these in the oven, I do add some chia seeds on top. I've really grown fond of these chia seeds. They're so good as like a topper in pretty much anything, and they do give you your necessary like good fats for your diet. I do track my macros, so I do keep track of pretty much everything I do intake into my body because I am on a weight loss journey. So I find that this recipe just really works for me and my lifestyle. Moving on to lunch, this is a super quick and delicious take on a PB&J. I am going to be using these tortillas. I use 1 tortilla and this Justin's peanut butter. This is the honey-like version of the peanut butter. I use about a tablespoon, and I spread that all over the tortilla evenly. And then we are going to pile on like some other ingredients to make this a pretty filling like PB&J sandwich, but a little bit different. So yeah, I'm pretty much just gonna spread this all over the tortilla. And this again is super quick to make. Usually all of these ingredients are already in my fridge. So I just pretty much spread that all over the tortilla. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Super easy for this part right here. If you don't have a peanut butter with honey already in it, you can totally add that on top as well if you just have like regular peanut butter or something like that. And then for like the like jam or jelly part of this, I'm actually just going to be adding whole strawberries, and I used around like 4 to 5 strawberries, and I just sliced them up as thinly as I could, and I just layer that all over the middle of the tortilla and the peanut butter, and it makes like a PB&J, just a little bit of a different spin on it, and I really like it. And it's super convenient and easy to just, you know, throw in a little, you know, sandwich bag and get on to like whatever your day holds for you that day. So it's super easy and super delicious. Next, we cannot neglect the chia seeds on this. It adds an added crunch, and it's again so good. After rolling this up into like a PB&J burrito, I'm going to be cutting it into little bite-sized pieces. And then, yeah, that's just about it. I do pair it with some potato chips, and these are the Pop-It ones, so they aren't as bad for you. They are like baked, and I believe they're gluten-free, so this is a really good pairing for me, and it just hits the spot every time. Moving on to dinner, I'm going to be making these turkey, meatballs, and zucchini noodles. First, I portion out my turkey meat, and then I add half a cup of Parmesan cheese, 2 eggs, some parsley, some red chili flakes, and then some oregano, and lastly some basil. I forgot to show a clip, but I also do add a little bit of garlic salt. And then I'm just going to mix that up with my spatula really thoroughly to make sure all of the flavor just gets into every single bite that you have of your turkey meatball. So I'm just repeating these steps over and over again until all of my ingredients are on the baking sheet. And this is again this recipe specifically is going to be a very low carb recipe, because instead of using regular like noodles, we're going to be using zucchini noodles, and that is going to be a significantly less amount of carbs. So having more of like a carby diet for our morning and lunch, our dinner is going to be very lean on the carb side, so that's really good. So yeah, I'm just going to be repeating this step until all of the meatballs are made. Here I'm just taking the zucchini noodles and boiling them for just a little bit. It's about 10-ish minutes, so pretty much so they can just soften up and be more noodly. So I'm just going to boil those for just a little bit, or turn up the heat quite a bit so they do soften for more of a pasta effect. And then with the meatballs, after they are done cooking thoroughly in the oven, I go ahead and put it on the stove top, and I like to brown the meat that way. I do like my meat maybe a little bit burnt actually, so I do make them rather, I guess, crispy. And this just adds, I feel, more flavor and doesn't make them, I guess, as soggy. So I'm just portioning out this recipe here out into a to-go container. And again, this is so delicious and easy to make. And then I just am going to pour my Alfredo sauce over it. It is just a like Prego sauce, I think, from the supermarket, and might not be like the healthiest, but it is super good. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like. Don't forget to comment down below if you'd like to be my shout out for my upcoming Wednesday's video. And yeah, thank you guys again so much for watching, and I hope I inspired you on new recipes for you to make during your weight loss journey, and I am supporting you along the way so you guys can do it. Thanks so much for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.